So you made it through Season 1. Subaru died about 15 times. The universe made it very clear it has a personal vendetta against one very specific boy, and somehow the show got even more popular because of it. Ray, Zero's built different. This season introduces new characters, new mysteries, a witch who hosts tea parties in a dream world, and is simultaneously the most helpful and least trustworthy person Subaru has ever met. And one scene so devastating it split the anime community in half for 3 years running. Consider this your friendly heads up. Let's get into it. Season 2 opens with Subaru and his allies preparing to travel to a place called the Sanctuary, a hidden village deep in a forest where demi-humans live under a magical barrier. Emilia needs to go there because it connects to her past and to the royal selection. Straightforward enough. Except before they even leave, Subaru goes to check on Rem. And Rem is lying in bed, completely unconscious. Like she is sleeping but will never wake up. Her name has been stolen. Her memories erased from everyone who ever knew her. Rem does not remember her sister. The villagers do not remember her. Records of her existence have simply vanished. To the entire world, Rem never existed. To Subaru, who remembers everything always, because that is his gift and his curse and his eternal companion, Rem is completely real. He knows her name. He knows her story. He knows exactly who she is and what she means to him. And there is absolutely nothing he can do about it right now. The culprit is an archbishop of gluttony, one of the witch's cult members. Gluttony's power is consuming names and memories. Rem is not dead. She is simply gone from everyone's perspective except the one person who cannot explain why he still remembers her. If the Season 1 finale left you emotional, the first episode of Season 2 picks that emotion up and throws it directly out of a window. Welcome back to Ray, Zero. Subaru, Emilia, and their small group arrive at the Sanctuary, officially called Crumeldy, a village hidden inside a dense magical forest, protected by a barrier created by a witch named Echidna. Demi-humans who entered the barrier centuries ago became trapped. They have been living there ever since, unable to leave. Emilia is here because she is apparently connected to the Sanctuary in ways even she does not fully understand. There are magical trials she needs to complete to break the barrier and free everyone inside. Clean quest. Go in, complete trials, free the village, go home. Spoiler, nothing about this is simple. Ray, Zero has never done simple a day in its life. The Sanctuary is guarded by a young man named Garfield Tinsel, aggressive, loud, half-beast, and operating at a permanent level of suspicion toward anyone who did not grow up inside the barrier. He has the energy of someone who decided the outside world was dangerous and committed to that belief with everything he has. Not exactly a warm welcome. There is also Ryuzumaya, a small elderly woman serving as village elder who carries herself with the quiet authority of someone who has seen far too much and is choosing every word very deliberately. And nearby is Roswaal's mansion, which quickly becomes a separate crisis when Elsa Granhurt, the assassin from Season 1, the one who was enthusiastically lethal, returns. This time with a friend. Because apparently the first season was not complicated enough. The trials work like this. The candidate enters a tomb in the Sanctuary and faces a magical ordeal. Complete all 3 and the barrier breaks. Emilia, as a royal candidate with a connection to this place, is the one who needs to do it. Trial 1 is facing your past. Emilia goes in and falls apart completely. Season 2 begins revealing something important about Emilia. She has no memories of her childhood. A blank where her past should be. Being forced to confront that void does not go well. She comes out of the trial traumatized and unable to continue. This matters because throughout Season 1, Emilia is largely composed and graceful. Watching her genuinely shattered opens up a completely different side of her. She is not just the calm, beautiful royal candidate. She is someone carrying a wound she cannot fully see because she does not remember where it came from. Subaru, who is physically incapable of watching someone suffer without trying to fix it, sometimes wisely, sometimes catastrophically, decides he will take the trial himself. So he goes in. Trial 1 forces Subaru to relive his own past. And what it reveals is genuinely unexpected. Subaru had a good childhood. His father, Kenichi Natsuki, is warm, funny, and completely present. A man who actively chose to be involved in his son's life and was sincere about every moment of it. Subaru grew up loved, supported, and with every reason to become a confident, functioning person. And somewhere along the way, he still became a shut-in who locked himself in his room and stopped going to school. Not because of trauma or neglect, just because the world started feeling too heavy and he did not know how to carry it. Which is somehow more affecting than a tragic backstory because it is so honest. Sometimes people struggle not because something terrible happened to them, but simply because life became too much to hold. Watching Subaru relive this and realize he left his father's world without properly saying goodbye or thank you is quietly one of the most affecting moments in the season. No dramatic music required. Just a boy and the father he misses. He passes the trial. Here is where Season 2 introduces its most fascinating character. After the trial, Subaru finds himself in a dream. A beautiful, endless field of white flowers. Sitting at a table with a tea set, waiting for him with the energy of someone who has genuinely been looking forward to this, is a young woman in a black dress. This is Echidna, the Witch of Greed, creator of the Sanctuary. Dead for 400 years and absolutely thriving in the dream world she built inside the tomb. Echidna is brilliant, deeply curious, and operating on a completely different moral frequency from everyone else in this story. She collects knowledge the way this show collects emotional trauma enthusiastically and without obvious limit. She finds Subaru fascinating because his return by death ability is something she has never encountered before, and she wants to understand every detail of how it works. She offers him a deal. She will support him through the Sanctuary, share her knowledge, help him navigate the trials in exchange for information about his experiences. Or she wants us to know things. She is the Witch of Greed after all. The catch is that Echidna does not experience human emotion in any conventional sense. She is not evil exactly, she simply operates on a value system where knowledge is the only real currency and feelings are interesting data rather than things she personally has. Trusting her completely would be unwise. Refusing her help entirely would also be unwise. Subaru, because his situation is genuinely desperate, starts attending her tea parties. Yes, tea parties. In a dream world. With a 400-year-old dead witch. Ray, Zero contains multitudes. Echidna's tea parties come with company. The other witches of sin preserved in some form within the dream world start appearing to meet Subaru. Minerva, the Witch of Wrath, who cries at the mention of suffering and whose tears literally heal wounds. She is furious that Subaru has been hurt so many times and expresses this through very aggressive weeping. The combination is chaotic in the best possible way. Typhon, the Witch of Pride, who appears as a small child and judges everyone's sins with the absolute certainty of someone who has appointed herself the final authority on morality. somehow more intimidating than she has any right to be. Daphne, the Witch of Gluttony, wrapped in bandages and perpetually half asleep, who is apparently responsible for creating the mabests that caused all the trouble in Season 1. She is not sorry about it. Not even slightly. Sekhmet, the Witch of Sloth, who is lying down for the entire encounter and is clearly not going to get up for anything. Honestly, the most at peace character in the whole series. And Carmilla, the Witch of Lust, whose divine protection causes everyone who sees her to fall completely in love with her involuntarily. Subaru walks into her portion of the dream and immediately, completely, with his entire heart, forgets Emilia exists. He recovers eventually. The whole situation is uncomfortable, strange, and somehow still funny because of how completely it catches him off guard. The only witch not attending these gatherings is the Witch of Envy, the one whose scent Subaru carries, the one everyone is most afraid of. She is always somewhere in the background. She does not come to tea parties, which honestly probably means tea parties are the safest place to be. Remember Roswaal, the theatrical, face-painted noble supporting Emilia from the beginning, who seemed eccentric and dramatic but ultimately harmless. Season 2 reveals he has a gospel, the same type of holy text that guided peddlers and the witches' cult in Season 1. A book that supposedly predicts the future. Roswaal has been following it. Deliberately. Everything, the mansion, the sanctuary, the trials, the crises has been guided by Roswaal according to what the book tells him will lead to a specific outcome he wants. He is not simply a supporter. He is a manipulator who has been carefully positioning everyone, including Emilia, toward a goal of his own. That goal is reaching Echidna. Roswaal was her student 400 years ago, and has been working toward a reunion of sorts ever since through a succession of reincarnated bodies. He has been living and dying and living again for centuries, following a book, waiting. Ram knows some of this. Ram, who has been quietly devoted to Roswaal since Season 1, is aware he is more complicated than he appears. And she remains devoted to him. Which opens up something worth sitting with about loyalty, about loving people who are difficult, about the choices people make when they care about someone whose choices are not always good. While everything is unfolding at the sanctuary, Roswaal's mansion is under attack. Elsa Granhut has arrived with a companion named Meili, a young girl who controls Mabest with a cheerful expression that somehow makes her more unsettling than Elsa, not less. The mansion's staff, including Petra and the children from the nearby village, are in serious danger. Otto Suan, the merchant who has been in the background since Season 1 being quietly anxious about things, turns out to have a divine protection that allows him to communicate with animals. Which sounds like a detail from a comedy until he starts using it strategically to coordinate the defense of the mansion, and you realize Otto has been quietly capable this entire time while everyone was looking elsewhere. He earns a significant amount of respect this season. Quietly, which is very Otto. Petra, who is a teenager and did not sign up for any of this, holds herself together under pressure with more composure than the situation has any right to produce. She is remarkable, and the show knows it. Through every tea party with Echidna, every confrontation with Garfield, every revelation about Roswaal, Rem is still unconscious. Subaru never stops carrying this. It sits underneath everything. He cannot save her yet. He cannot even explain to anyone who she is because to the rest of the world, she simply does not exist. He holds her name and her story completely alone. There is a quiet scene where he simply talks to her. Not dramatically. just tells her what is happening, updates her on everything, holds onto the reality of her the way you hold onto something you are terrified of losing. It is not a grand moment. It is a small one. Small moments are what this show does best. Garfield spends most of the season as an obstacle. Aggressive, suspicious, powerful, and completely committed to keeping the sanctuary sealed. Then his backstory comes out. Garfield has never left the sanctuary. Not once. He guards it so ferociously, not just out of duty, but out of fear. Specifically, the fear of leaving and discovering the outside world is everything he imagined, and realizing his entire life inside the barrier was a choice he could have unmade. At any time. His mother entered the sanctuary years ago and completed the trials. She passed. She left. She never came back for him. That is the whole world. A child who was left behind, who built an entire aggressive personality around making sure nothing ever leaves. Because if nothing leaves, he never has to wonder whether the people who did leave chose not to return. Once this comes out, Garfield stops being an obstacle and becomes one of the most human characters in the season. The show does this consistently, takes someone who seems straightforward and reveals the very specific, very personal hurt underneath. It never stops working. Beatrice has been present since season 1, small, sharp, drill-haired, living in a room that relocates itself through the mansion, deeply uninterested in most people. Season 2 reveals what she has been waiting for all this time. Echidna created Beatrice before her death and gave her one instruction: wait for a specific person. Someone Echidna designated as Beatrice's person, the one who would eventually come and give her a reason to exist beyond the library. Echidna did not tell her who. Just wait. Beatrice has been waiting for 400 years. She has long since stopped believing the person will come. She is simply continuing because she does not know what else to do, growing more closed off with every passing decade, sitting with a promise she is no longer sure was real. Subaru figures this out. He goes to her. She is preparing for the end quietly, with the resignation of someone who has made peace with being abandoned by a for-century-old promise. And Subaru, who knows exactly what it is to be completely alone with something nobody else can share, looks at her and says simply, "I came for you." No performance. No dramatic framing. Just sincerely and directly, "I came for you." Beatrice, who has not allowed herself to believe in anything for a very long time, completely falls apart. And she takes his hand, and she comes with him. This scene earned its reputation. Every word of it. After everything that has happened, the loops, the crises, the revelations, Emilia faces her trials again. This time she goes through all 3. What she discovers about her past is painful and important, and connects to threads season 3 pulls further. For now, what matters is this: Emilia carries a history she was not allowed to remember, full of people she loved, and lost in ways that were never her fault, and the trials force her to look at all of it directly and keep moving forward anyway. She does. The girl who fell apart after the first trial, who appeared to need everyone around her to hold her together, stands up completely alone inside an ordeal designed to break people. And she walks through it. The barrier around the sanctuary breaks. The demi-humans who have been trapped for generations can finally leave. Garfield, who has never seen the outside world, steps beyond the barrier for the first time. Ray, Zero earns its good moments by making you wait through everything else to reach them. This is one of the good moments. And that is Ray, Zero Season 2. A season that took everything Season 1 built and went several layers deeper underneath it. We found out where Subaru came from and why that matters. We met witches who have been dead for centuries and are still quietly shaping everything. We watched a girl with no memories face the void they left and walk through it. We watched a spirit who stopped believing reach out and take someone's hand after 400 years of waiting. And Rem is still asleep. That is not resolved here. That weight does not lift at the end of Season 2. It carries forward, which is very Ray, zero of Ray, zero. Season 3 is where the royal selection fully ignites, where the secrets underneath everything start breaking the surface, and where Subaru faces challenges that make what you just watched look like a warm-up round. Subscribe right now so you do not miss that recap the moment it drops, and the question that has clearly been living in your mind since Season 1, Team Emilia or Team Rem? Drop it in the comments. Rem is still out there. She would appreciate the support.